Hello, good afternoon, welcome back to a very wet and rainy afternoon here in Birmingham on Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now very recently in my email inbox I received an email from Microsoft/Xbox wanting to do a survey about Microsoft Flight Simulator, and one of the questions they asked me was, have you given up on Microsoft Flight Simulator? Because I don't think I've flown for a little while. Inspired by that survey, thinking, do you know what, it's right, because I've got such a choice of things I want to cover, and I've been doing a lot of racing lately. I thought I've got to cover a Microsoft Flight Simulator, and my local airport is Birmingham International Airport, and I thought, do you know what, when I had X-Plane 11 I had a payware version of Birmingham Airport, and I thought I really could do with updating Microsoft Flight Simulator. So that inspired me to go online and look and see what payware versions there were of Birmingham. Firstly looking towards Orbex, but they don't currently do one or offer one. So looking around I came across Macco Simulations, and they do two UK airports, Manchester and Birmingham, and they do some other stuff. Not a great number of things, but to be honest, doing a little bit of research on the company, I presume it's a one-man team. Now I'm going to be honest, their website, Macco Simulation or maccosim.com, it doesn't instill me with confidence, and although it was cheaper at their website, I actually purchased this through the Microsoft Store. Thank you very much for creating this add-on. Now, as I mentioned, Sunday afternoon and it is raining, and I thought, well, I don't want to make this video a really long one. I want to make it a quick video. What we're going to do, I'm going to recreate something I did years and years and years ago, where I go up with an instructor, fly out from Birmingham Airport, fly around the local area, bit more on the circuit of the field, and come back in and land. It's a bit of a dull, wet afternoon, but I don't think I've done a video in Microsoft Flight Simulator where it's ever been raining, so this is a new one for me. Right, I'm going to do this in VR because VR gives you the best perspective of flying, so much more information and view than a 2D screen. So I'm going to go ahead, get the aircraft started up, we'll taxi out, and we'll just do a quick fly around and we'll land, and that will be it for this video. So here we are, transitioned into the cockpit. First of all, just as I go ahead and get the aircraft started up, I just want to say I apologise for the slightly wobbly view you've got here. Microsoft Flight Simulator, although they're updating this all the time, we're now just at another world update. The view is very cropped. There is no VR mirror, and the mirror offered with the HP Reverb G2 is too low a quality. So what I've done is zoomed in on one of the eyelets that you get in the Microsoft Flight Simulator VR view. I've gone onto the left eye because that gives a bit more of a view from where the pilot sits. Now we've just gone ahead and got the aircraft started up. I'm not going to labour around too long because it's quite a long taxi out to the runway, which will be given in a minute. So I've just turned all the anti-collision beacons on, the landing lights, the taxi lights, and we're just about ready to move off. We've got a moving rain front passing through the Birmingham area, and I think, as I just mentioned there earlier in the video, parking brake off, and we get the revs up, we're going to start moving off. I've flown personally where it's been raining, but I don't think I've ever done a video on my channel where it's been raining, especially in VR, so it's interesting to see the effects. I think we're just about to contact the ground.
Birmingham ground, Hellspawn 777 with India request taxi for takeoff, departing straight out.
Hellspawn 777 taxi to and hold short of runway tree using taxiway Fox
Charlie cross runway tree Charlie Echo Sierra. Contact tower on 118.305 when ready. Taxi to and hold short runway tree using taxiway Foxtrot Charlie, cross runway tree Charlie Echo Sierra Hellspawn 777.
Now, Microsoft Flight Simulator living up to its reputation there of getting people and vehicles in your way who's about to taxi. I'm not going to go through all the taxiing. I want to try and keep this video short, so we are just going to jump to different areas. Right, this is where we've got to cross the main runway. When you're crossing the runway, even if you've been given clearance, don't dilly-dally and always check that there's nothing coming. That's the runway cleared. We're just going to turn to our right and head towards the main terminal. This is where all the civil aviation aircraft are. Everyone going off on their holiday or commuting or wherever they're going. It's nice to see Birmingham back as I know it. It's not saying the Microsoft Flight Simulator version is bad, but obviously so much more detail. We're coming up now on the fuel. I think they're fuel tankers or oil tankers, whatever they are. There's some form of storage, and here we are
Tower,
at the runway.
777 at runway tree, ready for departure. Straight out departure. Hellspawn 777 QNH 29er.9er 2 wind 270 at 10. Straight out departure approved. Cleared for takeoff runway tree. Cleared for takeoff runway tree Hellspawn 777.
Right, okay. Parking brake is off. Get the revs up a little bit. Start making our transition onto the runway. Now, I don't know why, with this aircraft livery, we seem to have become Irish with our tree. Just putting on 10 degrees of flaps to aid in the takeoff. I'm just going to slow it up here. I'm just going to take this little opportunity to make sure all the settings are right. Temperatures are okay. Oil pressure, oil temps, everything, fuel set properly. The only thing I'm going to alter in a minute is the altimeter, because Birmingham is not at sea level, and you will notice that the altitude reads incorrectly. Now, there is a backup analog dial which I'm going to alter in a minute, and I need to learn how to alter the primary flight display to read the correct reading. Still so much to learn and know how to do in Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's getting the time to apply myself and sit down and do it. I know a very little bits of information. I mean, flying analog by the seat of your pants, I can do that. Maybe not as good as a real world pilot, but I don't crash, so that says something. So what I've done, I've set the clock analog indicator there to 0. We're happy. Parking brakes off. We're going to build the speed. We're not going to go tearing off at full RPM down the runway. We're going to take a little move forward. We're going to build the speed slowly. Gives me a feel of what the wind. There's a little bit of a crosswind coming across, and it's fantastic to see the rain in VR. I'm just gonna, in a minute, push the throttle up even more. We're getting our speed up. We're gonna go full RPMs, and there we go, lifting up, and we're off. We're climbing. And looking out ahead of us, if you look at the weather system, you can see that there is a rain off in the distance. Actually, as we're taking off, we're going down the runway, because this Cessna 172 doesn't take a full length of the runway to take off. We're already up by, I would say, less than halfway. And we can see there the rain stopped, and we're climbing out. Flying free, so it's not far off north, and I'm having a look round just while we're flying, just having a look at the clouds. We can see that the weather system we're probably going to pick that up shortly. Now as we're flying out, this VR view is not what you see in the headset, and this is one of the frustrations with VR, and unless you've tried VR for yourself you don't appreciate. In the headset I can see so much more than what you can see on this mirrored view on the screen. It's predominantly, this view is in the left eye, but I've got a lot more peripheral vision that I can see in the headset. So you always got to bear that in mind when people are showing you flights in VR. In the actual headset you're seeing so much more that can actually fit on that screen. So flying out over my local area, I know this area very, very well, and as we head out, it's a little bit further forward, we'll be crossing over the M6 motorway. It's just right in front of us now. You'll see in a minute. I'm going to have a glance down and have a look at it. There it is, just below us. There you go. That's the M6 motorway.
Birmingham Tower, Ryanair 66611 miles southeast inbound, visual runway tree approach. Housebound 777 leaving my airspace, frequency change approved. Ryanair 666 Birmingham Tower. QNH 29er 2 wind 270 at 10. Cleared visual runway tree approach.
Birmingham Tower, housebound 777 frequency change. Birmingham approach housebound 777 is type Cessna Skyhawk 5 miles northwest of Birmingham 1,300 feet. Request flight following.
Housebound 777 Birmingham approach. Squawk 7255.
Squawk 7255, housebound 777.
Housebound 777 radar contact 6 miles northwest of Birmingham 1,300 feet. QNH 29er 2.
Roger, housebound 777.
Right, what I think's quite humbling and something you really... Look at the rain effect on the window there. It really does look good in VR, I've got to tell you that now. What I was going to say, and what's really humbling, if you're only a fair weather flyer and you're always flying VFR in Flight Simulator,
Easy tree, contact Manchester Centre on 118.775.
going up and flying when the weather's bad can be quite daunting and quite scary, especially if you're flying to cloud, you can't see where you're going. That's where in real life you wouldn't be allowed to do it. You'd have to have your instrument flight rules, I think that's what it's still called. You'd have to have your certification to fly in all weathers. Now really, if the weather was bad, we could be using the ILS, but it's not something I've done for such a long time. Again, it's something I need to relearn. That's the instrument landing system. It could help guide us into the runway, but luckily the weather's not bad as coming on the approach. It's quite clear, and as you can hear, we've missed the rain again. So coming in, coming over the Coventry Road, I've really come back on the throttle now. I suppose I should at this point be using some flaps, but aircraft speed's good. We're just going to take a steady run in. It's actually one of the, well, better landings for me, I think, that I've done. Going over the threshold. And then we're going to flare, because we don't want to hit the ground hard. Flare back, drop in the RPM now. And we're down. This is where you've got to like really be ready with the rudder. Keep yourself straight. And I know I says I don't want to make this a long video, but the problem is, in real life, this flight was around 40 minutes.
KLM 1435 Airport is 13 miles at your 10 o'clock. Maintain present heading and altitude, report runway in sight.
So I went out over the north of Birmingham,
Approach Easy 431 is
just
passing
done a
11,000 feet, descending 2,300 feet.
simple loop round adjacent to the runway and come back in.
Continue as planned.
Right,
Maintain
cutting the
present heading and
taxiing
altitude,
out
VLM
again.
1435.
We're going to come to our parking space, and lo and behold, while we've been away, they've stuck a few cargo jetliners in, and they've took our parking space. So when I come back, I was thinking, okay, where shall we put the aircraft? Now, looking at the guys on the right, they probably wanted me to park in front of the building there, but I thought, you know, I'm going to be cheeky. We're going to cut round the fire truck. I'm going to sort of stick it where we was earlier. Shorter walk to the instructor's building. Obviously, in real life, we wouldn't be able to do this, but it's a bit of Sunday afternoon flying. So, my channel, my rules. We'll get away with what we want to do. Well, we are nearly at the very end of the video. If you've got this far, thank you very much for watching. And I'm not going to make any promises. I know I need to get more content out. It's just I'm still trying to get certain things settled, and it is frustrating that I'm just held back and held up by bureaucracy. But that is not for you to worry about. That's for me to sort out. Once again, thank you for watching. Please drop a comment down below, say hi, and I will be seeing you very soon, hopefully, in another video. Thank you forever. Thank you for, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.